Hey, what's up, you beautiful bastards? Let's just jump into it. We've got a jam-packed show today covering everything from shocking celebrity deaths to international incidents and even robot dogs at war. Yeah, you heard that right, robot freaking dogs. We're kicking things off with a story that's both tragic and deeply disturbing. New developments in the Matthew Perry case have left investigators questioning everything they thought they knew. Plus, we'll be diving into North Korea's latest propaganda push and my own possibly insane plan to see it firsthand. Buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride.
All right, so you guys remember when we first talked about Matthew Perry's death? It was ruled an accident, a tragic end to a long battle with addiction. Well, hold on to your hats because this story just took a dark turn. Turns out 5 people have been arrested in connection with Perry's death, including his personal assistant and 2 doctors. Authorities are alleging that this was no accident, but rather a calculated scheme by a criminal network that preyed on Perry's vulnerability. They're saying these individuals, driven purely by greed, supplied Perry with lethal doses of drugs, essentially using his addiction as a weapon. It's absolutely sickening to think that someone would exploit another human being like this, let alone someone battling addiction. This wasn't just a tragedy, this was murder, and those responsible need to be held accountable. This case is far from over, and you know I'll be keeping a close eye on it. We need justice for Matthew Perry. This whole situation just shines a light on the dark side of fame and the vultures that surround those struggling with addiction. It's a stark reminder that behind the glitz and glamour, there's a very real human cost. We'll continue to follow this story as it develops, but for now, let me know your thoughts in the comments. This whole thing is messed up, and I want to hear what you guys think.
Okay, switching gears here, but get this. North Korea says they're opening their borders to tourists again. Yeah, you heard that right. Apparently, Kim Jong-un wants the world to see the socialist utopia he's built. Now, we all know North Korea has a history of, let's just say, creative interpretations of reality. So, when I heard they were opening up a city called Samjiyon near the Chinese border, I thought, someone's got to see if this is for real, and that someone is me. I'm planning a trip to North Korea, and I'm bringing you guys along for the ride. We're going to see firsthand what this utopia is all about. Is it all propaganda, or is there something more to Kim Jong-un's claims? This is going to be one hell of an adventure, and I can't wait to share it with you. Stay tuned for updates on how you can follow along on this journey. Things are about to get interesting. All right, this next story is straight out of a black comedy. Imagine going to get food from a charity only to find out later that the candy you just gave your kids was laced with meth. That's exactly what happened in New Zealand, and people are freaking out. Apparently, an anti-poverty charity accidentally handed out these sweets, some containing up to 300 doses of meth each in their food boxes. We're talking about serious, potentially lethal levels of this stuff. The authorities are trying to figure out how in the hell this happened. Was it a mistake, a sick joke, or something more sinister? We don't know yet, but what we do know is that people are getting hurt. Multiple people have been hospitalized, and the authorities are scrambling to get these tainted sweets off the streets. This whole situation is a mess, and it highlights the very real dangers of drug contamination. This isn't just a New Zealand problem, it's a global issue. We need to do better to protect our food and drug supply chains to prevent things like this from happening again. Move over, grown-up protests because the kids are taking over. In Turkey, children are taking to the streets to protest the government's ban on Instagram and get this, Roblox. That's right, the online gaming platform beloved by kids worldwide. This movement, dubbed #free Roblox, has gained serious traction online. These kids are using their voices to fight for their right to play, to connect with friends, to have some fun in a world that often feels anything but. It's inspiring to see young people engaging in activism, even if it's over something like Roblox. It shows that they're paying attention, that they care about their digital freedom, and they're not afraid to speak out against censorship. The Turkish government might have underestimated the power of a child's desire for Roblox, but hey, maybe this will make them think twice about future internet restrictions. Keep fighting the good fight, kids. We've been talking about monkeypox, or Mpox as it's now called, for a while now, and things are officially getting serious. The World Health Organization just declared it a global health emergency. This isn't just about the current outbreak. It's about a new, more deadly variant that's spreading like wildfire in parts of Africa. And yeah, that's pretty terrifying. This declaration is a wake-up call. We need global cooperation to contain this thing before it spirals completely out of control. We need more research, more resources, and a coordinated effort to stop this virus in its tracks. We'll be keeping a close eye on this developing situation, but in the meantime, stay informed, take precautions, and let's hope the global community can come together to tackle this latest health crisis. Robot dogs of war, the future is now, and it's terrifying. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this next one is straight out of a sci-fi movie. Ukraine is now using robot dogs on the front lines of the war. Yeah, you heard that right. These aren't your friendly neighborhood pups. These are high-tech fighting machines. They're being used to scout buildings, sniff out traps, and keep an eye on enemy movements. On the one hand, it's a fascinating technological advancement, but on the other hand, it's downright chilling. We're talking about robots engaging in warfare, and that raises a whole host of ethical questions. Where do we draw the line? What happens when these machines become even more sophisticated, more autonomous? It's a slippery slope, and it's one we need to navigate very carefully. Huge data breach. Is anyone safe anymore? Remember when we thought our data was safe? Yeah, those were the good old days. One of the biggest data breaches in history just happened, and it might involve your information. We're talking about potentially millions of Americans whose sensitive data might be floating around in the dark corners of the internet. This is a big one, folks, and it's a stark reminder that our digital security is incredibly fragile. We'll be diving deeper into this breach, figuring out who's affected and what you can do to protect yourself. But for now, be vigilant, change your passwords, and let's hope the authorities can track down the people responsible for this massive violation. Heartbreak in Gaza, this is the real cost of war. I'm going to warn you guys, this last story is a tough one. A picture surfaced online that just breaks your heart. It shows a father in Gaza holding the birth certificates of his newborn twins. He had just registered their births, full of hope and joy, ready to start this new chapter in their lives. But then, tragedy struck. He returned home to find his home destroyed in an Israeli airstrike, his precious twins gone. This image, this story, captures the brutal reality of war, the innocent lives lost, the futures shattered. It's a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict, a cost that goes far beyond numbers and statistics. These are real people, real families, torn apart by violence. Stay informed, stay vigilant, stay beautiful. And that's where I'm going to end today's show. As always, I'd love to know your thoughts on these stories in the comments down below. Be sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more news updates. I'll see you beautiful bastards tomorrow. Bastards.